Hey, Peter.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going?
Not too bad. I'm having a good morning. Excited, or rather, still coasting off of the Wu-Tang Clan Versus performance last night, which was excellent.
I saw you tweeting, or I read you tweeting about it, and it sounded great.
It was fantastic. Two legends showing true masculine but non-toxic love to each other. You love to see it.
You'd love to see it.
And unfortunately, we're back in Crusader Kings 2, and that's a place where there's terrible toxic masculinity in the form of violence.
Well, I use this as, it's what we use to teach ourselves the lessons of that type of toxic masculinity so that we can avoid it in our personal lives.
Exactly, a cautionary tale.
Oh, I was just going to say, where did we leave King Kresimir and his family?
Well, he's getting on in years. I think he's around 66 at this point. You can see that he's looking pretty wizened overall. We've got our son, who's, I think, age 9 or 10 or so, and we've got our wife here. And let's jump in and see where we are tactically and with respect to empire. So here we are, where we've got our Kingdom of Croatia, like always. And last time we acquired some overseas territory. We have the island of Malta here. If we look south, we can see the Duchy of Calabria, which is ruled by Duke Guy, who's descended in some way or form or fashion from Robert the Fox.
Mm-hmm.
We can see that, as always, to our west lies the Holy Roman Empire, and to our right lies the Bank of Byzantium. To our north is Hungary, who's I'm a little worried about. I'm afraid they're going to try and make a move on us, but I think perhaps the fact that we have an alliance with the Holy Roman Empire. Let's see, where are we? Yes, alliance to me. Oh, hey, we're 69 years old. Nice. And let's see, what else do we have going on? What's going on in our inheritance line? Yeah, we have our daughter, Princess Neda, and our son and heir, Prince Theodore, as well as Princess Emilia, who's our daughter. Prince Theodore is 11, so he has 5 years to go before he's of ruling age. What's Prince Theodore like? He's honest and pensive. He's got a great
Stewardship, yeah.
Yeah, I love to see it. And yeah, where we've got some claims here. I believe we have a claim on Salerno and Capua, possibly Palermo. But I think this game we're going to focus on shoring up the economy a bit. We've got some interesting choices to take care of. And we're going to have to handle, almost certainly, King Kresimir's death. So we're going to want to save up some money just in case we have a power struggle afterwards and need to hire some mercenaries.
If I can ask a question, at the very end of last week's playthrough, you elected to take over Malta rather than, I want to say, I can't remember if it was Capua or Salerno. What's the calculation that went into choosing Malta instead? Was it simply that Malta was less likely to have allies that would intervene?
Yes, it had no allies, if I remember correctly. Salerno is allied with Capua, and though we're at a place where we could probably win against both of them, it's a little like real life. Never fight two people at the same time if you can avoid it.
All right.
So, to business. The first thing I notice is that we have a pretty cool choice ahead of us, which is a dynasty legacy. We have enough renown to unlock a legacy for our dynasty. And what that means is that there's a set of bonuses that you can buy, one corresponding basically to the character skills, though a couple of other things can factor in here. And these bonuses persist not just for a current ruler, but throughout our house until the game ends. So needless to say, these are pretty good. You buy these with the skill known as Renown, which is a really interesting skill, one that doesn't come into play very often, except for Dynasty Legacies. And we can read it out here. Renown is much like prestige, but shared by an entire dynasty. So unlike your character's prestige, it doesn't change when you change rulers. A dynasty gains renown for the number of currently living members, number of rulers, and the number of spouses to other rulers. So here we have 6 choices. We can pick House of Warriors, which gives everybody +2 prowess in battle and makes our knights a little bit more effective. Mostly Fair, which gives everybody, which gives the people, the common people, a opinion, or perhaps all courtiers, I'm not sure, 5 bonus to you in terms of opinion, and cuts, interestingly enough, the hunt and feast cost by 1/3, which is pretty great. There's Ominous Reputation, which bumps up our dread gain and our natural dread. Our Noble Veins, which increases our likelihood of inheriting good traits. Vibrant Court, which increases our courtier and guest opinion. Yeah, so that makes sense. The Mostly Fair is for popular opinion, not courtier opinion. And Desirable Match makes it more likely to have marriage acceptance, and Bounteous Loins increases our fertility and our attraction. And as we go on in the game, we can unlock more and more of these. So by the end of in terms of late game, when you unlock something like Home Estate, that gives you +1 domain limit for every single character over time, which is a huge deal.
And do you have to buy these horizontally within? Like you're getting only the law ones. So let's say you wanted Venial in the Guile tree. Do you have to have bought Long Reach and Natural Schemers, or is it just that you're unlocking all of them horizontally?
No, you have to unlock. It's a tree. Well, I suppose not a tree, but it's a 2-dimensional array, and we have to go for Long Reach and Natural Schemers first. But we can jump around. We could get Ominous Reputation and Desirable Match, etc. And they become more expensive as time goes on.
Do they get more expensive as you buy them? Or, for example, is everything on this left tree 250 renown?
Correct. The latter.
Okay. I already know which one you're gonna get. I mean,
well, I'm deciding between Mostly Fair and Ominous Reputation.
I figured Ominous Reputation had to be the one. Can we move away from the game for a minute and just talk about the fantasy of monarchy? Right? No, it's a game. There's nothing wrong with fantasy in a game. It's why we play games, right? We play games to imagine ourselves in stories, and stories of monarchy are things that we grow up with. And I look at the blood tree, right? And this is telling us a story that inbreeding is going to make our blood better, which is, let's be clear, 100% the opposite of the actual reality of the monarchy. You just have to bring up that famous photograph of Charles II of Spain to see the damage that the myth of noble veins has done.
2 things, and I'm going to risk you a little here. It's definitely not a photograph. It's absolutely a painted portrait, because they did not have photographs in like 17th, 18th century
Kings
Spain.
are not like you and me, Patrick. They may have had technology and then painted over them. No, you're right, of course.
A camera obscura like Vermeer did.
That's right. No, of course. Thank you. What else?
Blood, and I think this definitely inbreeding is a way to cultivate congenital traits if you have multiple, if you have a number of great traits in your line. By the time you're a big empire, it's a little tough finding, and you've done a good job of propagating congenital traits down the line. It's tough to find like people who aren't like second cousins or something. That's a little awkward, but it's not necessarily incestuous. And it's a really good tech tree because the final one, Octogenarians, gives every character +5 to life expectancy, which is since rulers are generally at their most powerful and respected by their old age, that's pretty good. But we're going to go for Ominous Reputation because Kresimir is a schemer and torturer, and I like to roleplay a bit. Yeah, so we'll need some more renown to afford Long Reach. So Dynasty has unlocked Ominous Reputation, which is pretty great. What do we have for the current situation? We've got low controlling counties. where's Rama? That would be here. We're currently fixing the control level in Malta, so we're going to leave that for the time being. We've got some powerful vassals who'd like to be on the council. Let's take a look. Let's see. We could maybe put Count Francesco on the council. You know, Vlatko is 17 and he's 15. 15 marshal. We might put him on when we switch to our son, because as soon as the things switch, people are very unhappy. But the rest of these people are total dullards, so they're just going to have to live. Oh, look at here. We've got Count Radoslav, who has the trait Disfigured, as well as Scarred. So he clearly got the he also has the Reckless and Open Terrain expert traits. So I think perhaps that might be the reason why he's not doing so well in terms of face.
One of the things that always frustrates me about CK3 is if there's a way to find out how he became scarred, I have not found it. And sometimes, sometimes you could infer it, like if you happen to be watching during a battle and you see that someone was captured and then afterwards he's scarred, you can kind of make up the story in your head. But I always want to know, like, how did this character get here? And that's hard to answer.
I really enjoy inferring the stories or figuring them out. You do get to see things happen if there's disfigurements, and you do get to see them live in the kind of live readout on the right of the screen. But once those are gone, yeah, it's kind of a mystery. We could declare wars. We could go to. It's suggesting we go to the Byzantine Empire because we have the backing of the Holy Roman Empire.
That sounds like a
bad
idea.
I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a terrible idea. Hungary is also a bad idea.
Palermo, Wali Muhammad bin Abraham of Palermo. What is he?
Yes, we could declare a holy war on him because he is Muslim. It isn't necessarily the worst idea. It is possible for other Muslim rulers to join a holy war, which makes it a bit riskier than just going the standard route of fabricating and pressing a claim. But it's an option we could take, and it's not necessarily the worst one. Similarly, we've got Tripolitania, which appears to be a sub-county in Palermo. That's interesting. And we've got Capua because we've got a claim on it. And you know what I noticed? I noticed that Venice is up here, and I'd sure like to own Venice. I think that would be pretty sick. So I think we're going to start off today by fabricating a claim on Venice. Or rather, there's Venezia and Veneto, and we're going to. Venice is one of the world's most beautiful cities today, but was definitely a center of culture in the era where we find ourselves in. So we're going to get a claim on Venice, and now we're going to build some buildings because we've not been boosting we can afford to boost our economy up a little bit more. We're still missing a lot of buildings, so I'm going to bump up hill forts here. That gives us higher fort level and another 250 soldiers to
do these
employ.
Do these buildings that we're building cost anything to maintain?
No, there's no building maintenance cost. And let's see, where are the other counselors? What are they up to? We've got Count Strezna, who's working on domestic affairs, probably a good idea. Mayor Ludwig, who is collecting taxes, again, not a bad idea, because I want money. We've got Vlatko, who's trying to put down unhappy people in Malta. And we've got Herman, the spy master. He's not very good at being a spy master. I wonder if there's anybody else who's better. There definitely is not anybody who's close to as good, so that's a little depressing, but we're going to find some secrets.
What do you consider to be good? Because I would have said 13. Yeah, that's okay.
I'd like it, ideally, I'd like all my counselors to be at least 15. That's kind of what I shoot for. And the bigger your empire, the more likely you are to have candidates with 15. If you start out playing as like a count, you're going to have like a bunch of cronies and dullards at the start. And part of the difficulty of playing a count is finding and convincing sensible counselors to join you. It's pretty fun. So let's unpause here. We're going to start building up money again. We're going to keep funneling some money into. I'm going to get a buffer probably of 100 gold or something, just in case we need to get just in case we pop our clogs suddenly, and I need to be able to afford some what's the word I'm looking for? Some mercenaries. We're going to use our favor hook on Count Radoslav and get 50 gold, which is pretty good. Mystical knowledge. I have come across a book describing how ancient monastics used trances and visions of ecstasy to commune with heaven. It seems strange practice in our modern age, but perhaps there is something to be learned from them. This is a learning hook, because if you remember, we've selected the medicine focus so that we get a slight boost to our health so we can survive a little bit longer. And so let's we can go down this kind of story route by wondering what would happen if we imitate their practices, or by researching through books. I think Kresimir is more the type not to throw himself into religious practices, but try and figure out.
He's a restrained dude.
Other than torturing, yeah, I agree.
That's just business.
Let's see. The more I dig into the ancient texts, the more I discover. Could the mysterious practices of the ancient monastics predate even Christianity itself? I seem to have stumbled across something remarkable. We could say, this is teaching me so much about my faith, and get a learning lifestyle perk unlock. Or we could experiment a little after all. Now, if I remember correctly, if this event goes properly, you not only gain a good bit of learning and like a learning perk, you also get the ability to like put yourself in seclusion and undergo these mystical rituals, which gets you various good bonuses over time and reduces your stress. So Kresimir, like the writing's on the wall for him. He's at this point is almost 70, which is ancient for the year 1089. So I'm just going to play it a bit conservatively. And the learning lifestyle perk that I'd like is going to be wash your hands, which will let us reduce the chance of contracting illnesses.
And now that does not reset whatever points you've been earning.
No.
The lifestyle points you've been earning are still banked, and are going to get you another perk in time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you love to see when you get just kind of free perks from events.
I was sure that event was going to go down you creating your own religion. Was kind of where I
No, creating your own religion is I've never created my own religion in this game and not been like extremely owned by like the Catholics all around me. It's pretty difficult to pull off. While I was in the castle town with Theodore, his attention was caught by the criminal chained in the pillory. Theodore lifted his head and made a show of ignoring the criminals begging for water. We could say, "Good, let him know his place. No, child, bring the poor man the water he asks for. Or spit on him, beat him. He deserves nothing less."
Harsh.
Yes, all of these are. None of these is particularly great. Arrogant, I thought arrogant would be pretty good, but 1 prestige per month is not super great. We could take compassionate, but people like compassionate characters, but it hurts your natural dread. Yeah. It hurts your intrigue, and it makes choices like blackmailing people, etc. It costs more stress, which I don't like. There's also callous. Callous is the opposite of compassionate, and even though this will put us over the edge in terms of stress, I'm going to go with callous.
Oh wow!
Okay, yeah, we're gonna.
It's critical. This is good. This is a risky play, but I guess since we think that Kresimir is He's not going to last long anyway. You are probably hastening his death, but if it is going to set up Theodore better for his reign.
Yeah, I think that's the calculus that I'm going with. I think this is going to set him up for like a more effective. I really want people to have a high dread, or my characters to have a high dread. So let's go critical. We're going to have a mental break here, and I'm going to select the option that's just like ignore this because he probably won't survive until the next mental break occurs. We have been overwhelmed by stress. Now we could donate to charity here, and we could lose some stress. Mental break, too busy. By God, petitioners from the realm have been queuing up lately. The work feels endless. Yet another one steps forward, evidently a distressed merchant of some kind. If you have come for justice, know that I do not overrule my judges just for petty coin. The merchant gulps at me, blinking rapidly in shock. Was it something I said? We could, because we have the improvident trait that we got last game, we could lose 130 gold, which is a huge amount, for only 13 stress. We could gain the trait reclusive, which is would lose us 46 stress, or we could just ignore this. I think I'm going to ignore this, and we're going to hit up feasts and hunts when we get the opportunity.
Right.
We have 5 years to get below 100, which is fine. We could. What I'm going to do now is actually do the decision menu. Oh man, we got another child. All right, no, it should be okay. We don't have like 8 kids. That would be not ideal.
I was just thinking when we started, I was thinking to myself how lucky we were to only have one son.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's do. We're going to donate some coin. Yeah, I walk away from the church with a light purse and lighter heart. Just the thought of all those in need that the money can help is enough to set my mind at ease. So we lose 26 stress, which is pretty good. I'll take that. We need to build up some gold as well, but it'll be fine. So he thinks that he can't find any secrets at Vasiles Manuel's court. I can affirm that he is definitely wrong about that. We're going to keep going. We built back up our gold reserves from what we had before we cashed in some gold to remove some stress. Continuing on. Oh man, it's a son.
Darn it.
With the babe cradled in her arms, Queen Hélène wipes tears from her cheeks and addresses me without taking her eyes off our son. Husband dearest, let us name him Kresimir after you. Lovely idea. Kresimir it is. Now let's check our inheritance scheme. First I need to remember where that actually is.
Succession? You just had it there.
Yeah, succession. We are on partition, and we do not have the research to go primogenitor, which is the standard inheritance model that we think of when we think of kind of the medieval era where the oldest son gets everything. We do have partition though, and we will give him a lower ranking title, which might help, but I'm not going to stress about this for now. We'll take care of things as they unfold. So Duke Vasileos of Paphlagonia is in keeping with the Byzantine ethos, taking commoners as lovers. So we're going to blackmail him for a little stress, and we're going to demand payment from him. So that's 50 extra gold. And now we're going to build another building. I'd like some more gold, so let's go for the farms and fields.
You know, all these people named Basileos is Greek for king. So you've got all these people named Count King and Duke King. It's kind of weird.
It's taking us quite a long while to get a claim on Venice, which kind of makes sense because Venice is this center of culture. We got a guest who has a claim on Barcelona.
Barcelona.
And that's on the other side of Italy, so I don't care. Again, he thinks he can't find secrets at Vasiles Manuel's court, and again, he is mistaken. My son and heir Theodore has been impressed with one of the household knights for a very long time. After finally meeting him in person, he has been repeating the warrior's words to himself. Work hard and you can master anything. I couldn't agree more. Hard work will bring him where he wants. This will give him diligent, which gives him +1 to all skills, a really great perk, but in exchange for +20 stress gain. So we're going to have to manage our stress sensibly, but this is a great trait to have. Notice that we were at 9 gold a month, but we're up to 10 now that we built those farms. Let's see, okay, what do we have here? We can call a hunt, which I will do because we will lose 39 stress and get back down to a lower stress level. Let's go. We are now not as overwhelmed by stress, which is pretty great. Just as my friend Count Strezna and I crest a hill, we hear it. The snapping of twigs, the rustle of branches, birds screaming in fright. They are heralds around it, announcing its arrival. A massive boar heading straight for us. Prowess challenge. 45% I slay the beast, which would give us a hunting trophy for 10 years. 27% I am injured. And 27% I am killed.
Those are not great odds.
No, they're not great odds. This is because our prowess skill is terrible. We have because we are old, we have a -8 to prowess, which completely offsets the bonuses that we got from our strong and torturer traits. So I don't love these odds. If we get wounded, well, if we die, we die, obviously. If we get wounded at this point in our lives, there's not much that we have left for us. So we're going to have to pay 150 prestige here, and Count Strezna will get a hook on us, but better than dying. And he's a huge fan of us, and he's intimidated by our dreadful reputation, which is pretty good. The hunt is drawing to an end. We mount our horses to leave the mountains behind, as the servants prepare the boar and other game for the journey back. Everything that could go wrong seemed to do so, but there were silver linings to be found.
You got back your prestige?
We did indeed. Okay, so maybe we've run out of secrets at Basileus Manuel's court. It's possible. So let's send him to a different court, where if we can see on these. Again, I'm not quite sure what the colors, especially as a colorblind man, correspond to. So we'll figure that out. My spy masters come to me with grave news, so we do not yet know who. Somebody is plotting to kill my guest, Walther. We must stop the villain behind this. I do not care who even is Walther.
Well, would that scheme potentially let you revoke someone's title?
It's possible, but the chances that it is one of our courtiers or our vassals are very low. This guy is from central Germany. Probably nobody has any idea who he is. It's probably someone back home back at home at this guy's home who's got some grudge against him. So I truly do not care. The only time I would really care about uncovering a murder plot is if it was like my heir. So here's something interesting. We've got some more little provinces that we could take. We get Urbino.
Italy is fragmenting.
Yeah, starting to become... Okay, so Eric, son of King Amundir of Sweden, is the one who's plotting against my guest. I truly do not care. We're all out of economic buildings we can build here, so I'm going to hold off for a while. To the sensible King Kresimir of Croatia, I call on you to honor our alliance and join me in the peasant uprising. This is, again, like last time, this is somewhat clumsily phrased. What he is defending against is his own peasant uprising. I haven't the faintest idea why he's asking me. Unless he's in the middle of some terrible war, which he is in the middle of a Norwegian war, but he's winning it. I don't know why his massive armies, which are he's got like 10,000 between allies and whatnot, but I have no idea why he thinks that he needs the help. But because he is our ally, and we do not want to lose the alliance we have with the Holy Romans, an empire that was neither holy nor Roman nor much of an empire by its end, we are going to join this war. Let's take a look.
I feel like we should make it a point that we don't go through one of these episodes without you saying the Holy Roman Empire, an empire that was neither holy nor Roman, nor an empire.
I know I say it all the time, but I love saying it.
No, I love it. Absolutely.
So he's got a pretty bad case of the Peasant Revolts, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, a stack of 2,000 is pretty serious. So actually, let's go and give this guy a hand. We don't have a huge army, but we do have, let's see, who's commanding? We've got 2 guys with good martial commanding. And, we could probably help him out, as it were. So let's go over here, and we'll see how this goes. All right, we can get a claim on Venezia here, and that costs 87 gold, and I'm very willing to pay it, so let's do it.
These claims evaporate when Kresimir dies, right? Or the claims inherited?
I think the claims are inherited. Okay, this is another sway thing, and I don't care. We can unlock a new learning perk, which is pretty good. We'll go for Iron Constitution, which will give us higher disease resistance, just because it might spare us a bit.
And also a massive boost to health, it said.
Yes, yes, it's not bad. Oh no, Queen Elaine is pregnant. How are you 72 and still fathering children?
Well, it did not say that you fathered children. Let's be clear.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It looks like they're going to go and have a fight here. So let's head upwards. Okay, so I don't want to just get owned here. And who are you, Duke Guy? Do I have an alliance with you, Duke Guy? Yeah, I do. Okay, whatever. We'll do. I really don't want to lose take the stat bonus that stat deficit that too many declines incurs. So, we'll see how this goes.
I mean, really, it's not great for you if he loses, but you're also not likely to get attacked.
It's true.
You could just accept and then do nothing, right? It's basically the...
Yes. And that's often what we do.
So what are you doing here in this maneuvering? This is the part of the game where I often lose.
Kind of tooling around. So it looks like we'll win this battle because we have a better army commander, more army commander traits, and more soldiers. Problem is that if this stack joins us, then we're basically screwed. So I'm not going to do it. I'm bailing out at the last second. What I am going to do is try to take this... I guess it's this whole province that he needs to take back. I really wish that he would... When you're leading... when you've got allies and you're leading the war, they will essentially just follow you around. But I really wish that this guy would just commit his armies. So, praise St. Bridget, Elaine has given birth to a perfect little daughter. Her name is Maria, which I love. I found myself fascinated by the human body and all the secrets it still keeps from us. Questions of life and death are constantly on my mind. To read texts on the topic is all well and good, but I cannot help but feel like I would learn a lot more from hands-on research. I will study the ravages of disease on a corpse. I try to hold my breath as I sift through the tangled mess of slimy, swollen entrails sprouting from the corpse's belly, but it is to no avail. The putrid stench of decay slowly finds its way to my lungs, making me gag. This is getting gnarly.
Yeah.
It contains the phrase viscous yellowish ichor. So let's not do that. So we could call in a friend of ours, Danail, and have to do a diplomacy challenge against him. We have a kind of 50-50 chance of him aiding us. We could find more bodies, which would give us stress and hurt our popular opinion because we're going and digging up graves. Or we could stop the whole thing. So let's just go for Danail.
Wait. Look at enough this is unseemly. Oh, I
That'll
see.
give us.
I see. So that will
Yes.
give us the experience, but end the event. Whereas maybe Danail can help me. Will also give you 50 experience, but might have a chance of continuing this thread.
Yes. If we continue the thread, we have a chance to unlock a whole new perk. If we call it now, we would just get some experience, but we wouldn't unlock a perk. Okay, it looks like he's going for... Okay, Danail was none too pleased to learn of my experiments. Get bent, Danail. He's pious. So, alright, he's going for... The Holy Roman Empire are going for the war, so let's commit. Alright, we took him out, then they've won the war. So we can disband our armies, because he's won now. And we get a little share of the war score, which is nice. And so, boom. So let's see, where's this other war going on? The Duchy of Apulia. Oh man, it's pretty messy down here, isn't it?
And you're gonna have to sail to do this.
Yes, and I need to wait for my troops. I disbanded my troops to the Holy Roman Empire, which in retrospect wasn't a good idea, because now I need to wait 8 months for them to be totally back in business. But I think he has this. Probably has this. Some of my counselors believe the job is theirs by right of blood or influence alone. How wrong they are. I expect results, yet I am often disappointed. After a long day, I am complaining to Hélène when she interrupts me. Let me do something about it, husband. A few lessons might sharpen their wits. Now, this is a good event. It occurs when you have a very competent spouse, and it lets her assist one of three counselors, three possible counselors. If they have somewhat low skills in what they're doing, they will be grateful for the help. If they have high skills, they will be insulted. So Mayor Ludwig would be insulted, Spymaster Herman would be insulted, but Archbishop Dogomir would also be insulted, and we could also do stay here with me instead. Aww. And we would romance Queen Hélène. But frankly, we are 74 years old, and we gotta chill. We really gotta chill. So your Archbishop's opinion of you is not super important as long as it's positive, so we're just gonna say, hey, hang out. And he's gonna get the studying learning trait, which will give him +3 to learning, which is not bad. He should be grateful, in my opinion. Alright, Theodore. With his coming of age, my tuition of Theodore is at an end. For the longest time I was hoping that good tutelage would be enough to teach Theodore the intricacies of any kind of scholarship. All efforts have come to naught, however. Hardly studious, he at least managed to memorize certain choice quotes from the classics. He will probably never write any great theorems, but he might read one or two. So he has Insightful Thinker, 2 out of 5 stars on the kind of base education. It gives +4 to learning. He's not, which isn't too bad. I would love for him to be +4 or 5, though that's a good deal rarer. But you can still build a really powerful character, even if they have only 2 or 3 as their base. You can get a funny event, which is if you get if your character comes out with, if an infant comes out with incest-related birth defects, or if your character or if the child comes out with just 1 out of the 5 stars, you can get an event that's this guy is a moron. He's bringing the whole house down with his stupidity. We gotta fix this guy, and so you can try and re-educate him, and it might go well, it might not.
Patrick, do we want to try to take the Veneto before Kresimir turns the toes up to the daisies?
I don't think so. I would hate to get into a war with Venice and then have to deal with a civil war at the same time. Because I believe the claims persist, and even if they don't persist, I'm going to you really want to play. Yeah. You really want to play conservatively when your ruler is at the end of his life. So now we can arrange marriage, and as always, we want to maximize the stewardship trait, which is really an awesome trait. This is going to be a pretty good person for us. She is Cecilia del Orto. She is Catholic and Cisalpine, living in northern Italy somewhere. She has the traits arrogant, just, and diligent, and she has 20, which is a massive amount in stewardship, because she is just, diligence, and she has the 5-star, or the 4-star stewardship trait, which gives her +8 to stewardship.
Now,
it's Midas touched.
It looks like there's a lot of people here with 20 stewardship. So, but she's noble. She has a title.
Yes, generally, all other things being equal, nobles are better to marry than commoners. However, what I'd like to see is if there are any inheritable traits, because she doesn't have any inheritable traits. This person, who somehow manages to have 20 stewardship despite being slow is an inheritable trait. A lot of things past Euphrosyna, I think. Yes, by unnoticed. So let's do inheritable traits and see if there are any good ones. Oh, Jeez. Here we go. We got the best trait. Genius. All right. Even though she's got 5 less stewardship, having a genius kid it's so good. So let's go for it.
What's the age cutoff for fertility in this game?
This by default, the filters will not, when you're marrying, will not show you infertile characters, which is good.
But I mean, in practical terms, is there
generally women can have? I've managed to pull off having a kid with playing a female ruler at age like 43, and we can see the chance of children here is medium, so they'll probably spit out a kid pretty soon. He's going to lose some prestige because he's marrying a commoner, but guess what? He needs to get over it. This commoner is a genius, and you will respect her. We've got a feast opportunity, which I'm not going to take because we are at. It costs a huge amount, and we are close to the end of our life, and we're at 0 stress. So I'm going to just dismiss that. Let's see. So how's this guy's war going? It doesn't seem so good. Yeah, he got defeated.
Shucks.
But he's also winning. He appears to be winning, at least. He's about to get a ding in his... Oh, no, it looks like they won. Okay, I think I was confused. I'm not sure. But we won. The contested title remains with Duke Guy, and Countess Mathilde, who was rebelling, is imprisoned. Again, not really our business. Crusader kings! Christian pilgrims to the Holy Land suffer all manner of abuse, and their routes are fraught with danger. In order to protect the pilgrims and secure Jerusalem for Christ and the faithful, His Holiness, Pope Alexander, has accepted the possibility of an outright invasion by joint Christian forces. So now Christian faiths have access to crusades. Crusades, despite being titular, are kind of a pain in the ass because the Pope will just make constant demands of you. You either need to commit a bunch of troops, you need to go over there yourself, which gives you a lot of interesting events, or you need to just pay a huge amount of money into the war chest. So we'll see what comes of this.
Yeah, I've participated in one crusade in-game as the High King of Ireland, and I sent my best person over there. I think I sent my ruler himself to go do it. He won. He did great. Biggest contributor to the war score. And the result of this was he was able to appoint his sister as King of Jerusalem or something like that. And I do not understand what that did for me or why I bothered.
Yeah, it's a little unclear for me. I've had one game that went the same way. When a crusade is successful, depending on your level of contribution to it, you gain a certain level of power and authority in the Holy Land. I'm not really sure what the use of it is, but we've had another mental break here. We said we got some stress. What happened? My sister died from being ill. That makes sense as to why I was unhappy. What did she die of? She died of just being ill. It doesn't say what. So again, we could gain it. We could really knock down the stress if we take the trait reclusive. Or we could just say, I'm just as good as the rest. Oh, I was going to read this. Recently, I feel like I'm not worthy of the Kingdom of Croatia. Do other rulers doubt themselves as I doubt myself? I try to be a good, calm king, but every one of my courtiers seems determined to fry my nerves. Small crises dominate my day, and I can feel myself cracking in a way that others of my station never do. Man, buckle up. You're fine.
You're just
the king.
Piling the stones on his shoulders until the guy breaks.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. My daughter-in-law has given birth to a son. How nice. Oh, yeah, he's going to be named Kresimir. No, I don't want it to be named Kresimir. Kresimir is a special name that only the rulers get. But we'll name him a good Catholic name. No, we're going to name him a good Croatian name.
Well, no, this is isn't this your son, Theodore's?
No, this is my daughter-in-law. Oh, yeah. So it is, yes.
Yeah, so this is in your line.
Okay, yeah, so let's do... How do you spell Kresimir? I could not say.
It's Kresimir.
Yes. Name him after his great-grandfather. Not his great-grandfather, his grandfather that is great.
Something's going on in your kingdom here.
Yeah, it looks like the vassals are warring among themselves. Again, not really any of my business. It won't change. It just changes who owns these counties. None of my counties will change hands, and yes, people will still gain. People will still pay me taxes no matter who wins. If we're at a high level of control, we can forbid vassals from warring on each other.
All right, I'm going to ask you this question because this is where I always screw up my own game. Do you need to start worrying at Kresimir's advanced age about which counties and titles your two sons own? I always, because you've been building all of these improvements, right? And so what happens if a county with all the good improvements goes to your non-player heir?
Well, let's take a look. So who stands to inherit the county of... Because Cetina is our capital, our Prince Theodore is going to inherit it. Prince Theodore is also going to get Palajna, Set, Rama, this, and Little Kresimir is going to get Croatia is going to get this county and Malta. I think that's fine. We haven't really improved Kresh, or we haven't improved Kresh or Malta at all. So all the buildings that I have improved are going to land in my son's hands, which is good. It's probably good that we switch away from high partition, which would probably have given Little Kresimir more counties. Maybe one of the counties that we've been improving. But now we know not to improve Malta, which is good. We've got another thing. Let's do Carefree, which will lower our stress gain by 20%. Again, I'm convinced we're going to drop dead any second, but oh gosh, we've got so much money. We've got 455 gold. I love it. Let's bump up our pastures. It'll give us more gold. And could we improve our crop fields? Again, that's pretty expensive, so I'm going to give us a buffer. Here we go. I called it.
All right.
You have died. King Kresimir IV of Croatia has found peace in Christ's embrace at 76 years of age. He died of unknown causes. Known for his sadistic streak, he turned torture and mutilation into art. King Theodore ascends to the throne. A cold, heartless man, he is rumored to feel nothing and care for no one.
All right,
yes.
Let's take a moment here and appreciate that you, Patrick, have taken Peter Kresimir the Great, one of the most renowned people in all of Croatia, and through your gameplay, ruined him and turned him into someone who turned torture and mutilation into art. Well done. I applaud you. I
appreciate that. I would like to exculpate myself in that when we started the game, he already had torture. But did I indulge in murder, executions, and torture to drive up my dread so that nobody would dare challenge me? Yes, I absolutely did.
Now, I can tell from the look on your face that you are ready to plunge in to Theodore's reign. But I think this might be, maybe we should survey what has happened to the realm because of Kresimir's death, and then call it for the day, and then continue with Theodore first thing next week.
I think let's get things started with Theodore. We need to be very careful at this point because a wrong move can lead to a civil war, and nobody wants a civil war. It could really hurt our power. We've got a bunch of things to take care of. We've got a council to appoint. We've got a ton to do. So let's get things started. We're going to consider where we are. Yeah, and then I think we can call it for the day eventually. But let's take a look at where we are. So we're paused now. We want to pause. So Ban Radovan is currently the head of of our dynasty, House Trepirovich. Oh wow! Our house motto is "Break your sword upon our virtue," which is amazing. We've got some decisions. We could host a feast or call it hunt. I don't care about those right now. We need to select a lifestyle. Our learning life, we have a 20% bonus in learning lifestyle because we studied it, and we have faithful, which makes us more, which makes people priests a bigger fan of us. Our domain is looking pretty good. We have 6 out of 8 holdings. We're going to do the most important thing and get our wife onto managing our domain. Gosh, our wife is so ill. This is so awesome. Our genius wife. I'm a wife guy now. She has +6 and it gives us +6 in politics, +5 in chivalry, +7 in managed domain, and a whopping +9 in learning.
Amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome. And we have a kid. Did the kid get genius? The kid did not inherit genius, but he did inherit quick, which is pretty good. It is something. So let's see. Who's a chancellor? We need to appoint people who are powerful vassals because all of our powerful vassals are skeptical of us. Count Strezhna wants a seat on the council. Because we have the short reign penalty, which it's what it sounds like. With a new liege, everybody gets -20 opinion of you just because you're kind of an unknown quantity. So let's give Count Strezhna, and now he's a positive opinion of us, which is pretty good. Let's see, we don't really have anyone who's great at stewardship, but we are great at stewardship, so that's fine. Countess Tatiana has 10, and she really is not a fan of us, because she would like to have, she has a claim on County of Rama, which we own. And we're arrogant, which she doesn't like, and she wants a seat on the council. She is compassionate, and we're callous, so she has a -15 penalty to like us. She's never going to like us very much, but we do need to appease her in some way, so get on it, Countess Tatiana. And while we're at it, let's sway you. Who do we have? Count Francesco, I mentioned making him the marshal, and I'm going to do it because that's going to give us +40 opinion to him.
Is he a powerful vassal?
He is a powerful vassal indeed. And let's see, do we have anybody who's even remotely competent? No, our remaining 2 powerful vassals are terrible at intrigue, so they're going to have to live. And I think actually I'm going to sway this guy instead, because at least Countess Tatiana is on our side. I'm also going to send a bribe to Herman so that he likes us, because a spy master with a negative opinion of you is
as we learned from the other side of that.
Absolutely. You never want to appoint anybody but your best friend to being a spy master. And I just thought of something else that we need to do, and I cannot remember it right now. Okay, we have a court physician. That's pretty good. Let's see, what else are we going to do? We're going to switch Count Strezhna to... Okay, no, he is domestic affairs, which is good. I'm going to have... him increase. I'm going to have our marshal start increasing control here. And we're going, we want Herman's set to disrupt schemes, just in case anyone's trying to get at us. Need to pick a lifestyle. Yeah, I got distracted when we were picking a lifestyle. Gosh, our stewardship is so high because of our amazing wife. Because we're below our domain limit and we've got plenty of monthly income, I'm not going to choose stewardship. And I don't know what we're going to choose yet. I'd like to choose one that makes people afraid of us. So we're going to pick the skullduggery focus, which is scheme, subversion, and secrets.
Now, intimidation focus would give you a plus 30
Yeah,
to your
actually,
natural.
I think intimidation would be better. It's a good call. So here we go. We've got some unread messages. They want us to increase our opinion of us, or Count Francesco's opinion of us. Note here that we are first in line to inherit the Banate of Croatia. That's because our brother Kresimir V owns it. So we could again return to our
murdering ways.
Our murdering ways. I'm not going to do this, not only because he's my 5-year-old brother, but also because
you're weak.
Slate. Yes. There's a difference in this game between just murdering some rando and murdering your close kin.
Being a kinslayer, right?
Yes, kinslayer is definitely not a trait you want to have. Nobody likes a kinslayer. Something I'd like to note is that King Kresimir, though he had this secret of murdering his nephew and then his 5-year-old grandnephew, the secret was never uncovered. So he got through his whole life, and nobody asked too many questions about it.
Can we check if your claims were in fact inherited? Or if Kresimir's claims?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure I can't remember where claims are listed.
I think they would have been. I think they would have been on that page.
Yeah,
so I think they were not.
No, we don't. They're not. That's a little shame.
Okay.
We shouldn't have wasted the money on Venezia, but it wasn't too expensive in the grand scheme of things. So where is our stress level? We're pretty good. We've got a wife who's chilling, who's still alive. So our mother is still alive, Queen Mother Hélène. Got our children, Prince Kresimir Theodorich. Our half-sister Neda.
You should be teaching Kresimir,
yes,
right?
That was what I was thinking of, I think. Yes, educate child. You are now our ward. Excellent.
That's a mechanic that I completely ignored, and is something I've learned from you. Yes. I always never realized that was something I needed to sort of explicitly do.
It's very important. So we're now the new dynasty head, which is to be expected. Whenever the dynasty head dies, it just kind of picks a random character and gives it to you. But if you're the king, it'll always end up being. Oh, Anna de Zori has arrived, and she has a claim on the Judicale of Galura, which is in what's this island called? IRL?
Sardinia.
Sardinia. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. We've got some problems here, which is that we've got the faction created against us because Count Strezhna, even though he likes us a bit, would like to be liberated.
Ooh, that's a lot of military power.
He doesn't. He does have a good military power, but he is still too weak to send an ultimatum. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send him a gift. 100 is a lot for 15 opinion, but I really don't want to fight a civil war right now. It would just really bum me out. So he's going to do that, and we're going to start swaying him so that he stops this foolish plan. That was a lot of gold. I'm not super thrilled about it, but we do what we must. I'm going to have it stop notifying us about calling hunts and hosting feasts because I do not care. What I'd like to do soon is to go on a pilgrimage, because then people will respect us more, even though I think role-playing wise King Theodor Kresimir doesn't have very much use for religion at all.
What's his dread right now?
His dread right now is 2. I don't love that. His natural dread is 45. So that's pretty good. But we should boost it up a bit. Let's see. Do we have any prisoners we can take? Yeah, so we're up at 31 dread, which is a little bit better.
I don't have a sense for at what point does the dread start dissuading people from joining factions and the like.
You can see this when if we go to a character portrait and there's a little icon beside their opinion of you, and it can be correspond to intimidated or terrified. Intimidated are people who are less likely to oppose you, and terrified means that people will never join a faction against you and never conspire against you. If you're at 100 dread...
Go ahead.
If you're at 100 dread, most everybody, except like brave characters, will be terrified of you, and that's pretty good.
And does it show up as a plus and a minus in the...
No, it's a separate quantity.
So is Count Strejnina intimidated by us yet? From your 30-something dread?
Count Francesco? No, he is not. Okay, so it looks like our steward passed away, which is pretty good because she didn't like us very much. But again, we've got these 2 total dullards and they have just nothing to offer stewardship-wise. So Mayor Ludovic, it's all you.
Bold.
Welcome. Okay, and we've got two factions here now. That's not great. Okay, tidbit from far away. Visiting the local market, a merchant from a faraway land catches my attention. Come closer, my lord. Marvel at treasures never before seen in these lands. I had to blend into the populace to get these beauties out. Truly a harrowing experience. This merchant might have more to give me than marvels from afar. Must be interesting traveling as much as you do, which is a diplomacy challenge. We have a 1 in 4 chance of winning, which would give us understands people. We can do. She will tell me what she knows. So gave us 14 dread, understands people, and a 30% chance of threatened merchant, and also 70 gold. We could spend 70 gold and get that without any.
Gosh, I wonder what you're going to do. I predict you want the dread.
Yes, I'm perfectly willing to take a 70% chance. Let's see how it goes. Oh, it looks like it went fine. Okay, cool. One of our factions has disbanded.
Presumably because he is now intimidated.
Yes, I forget who it was. Was it Count Strejna? Yes, he is now intimidated by our dreadful reputation, and fearing me, he is less likely to oppose me directly. Excellent. Things are really looking up now.
Everything's coming up, Theodore.
Yes. Let's build something here. We're going to bump our crop fields. I'm starting to feel more comfortable here now that one of the factions has already disbanded and the other just has 1 guy in it, and he doesn't have enough oomph to actually start a war. Well, this is interesting. What's going on here? Appears to be some sort of war going on. Defending against Duke Josip Dragosic of Vorashka in the Liberty War.
So like the Hungarian part of the Byzantine Empire is rebelling? Possibly?
The Serbian part.
Mm.
If we go into the heart of the Byzantine Empire, it's Greek, obviously. But these are Serbs, and they appear to be in this war because we've had a change of leadership in the Byzantine Empire as well. Vasiles Johannes Ii, who is a whopping 16 years old. He's not really very good at anything. He's okay at intrigue. He does have the really interesting Born in the Purple trait, which I can discourse a little bit about. In the Byzantine Empire, early on, the purple dyes were the richest and most expensive dye that you could afford, having been made from a particular berry. I couldn't tell you which berry it was, but this is a tradition that they kind of took from the Roman Empire, where they would use it for togas in their outfits, and they started using it for even bigger and more extravagant things. And if you were born in the purple, you were born, that it meant you were born in the palace in a bed that was so luxurious as to be dyed entirely with this incredibly expensive purple dye. And as such, anybody who was born in the purple was, essentially born with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Now, I have to interrupt you. I have to interrupt you because this
Did
is
I
one
get
of those.
anything wrong?
You did. You got something very important wrong. Actually, it's not important at all. But this dye was known as Tyrian purple. And I know this because I've read a lot of books. I'm a Roman history nerd. It actually, the main ingredient in this dye is the mucus of a snail called the murex, M-U-R-E-X.
Oh, it's so nasty.
Yes, and they would have big vats with these snails just kind of drying in the sun. And that's where that came from. So it wasn't a berry, it was snails.
Snails, even wilder. So I think it's highly likely that these Serbs are going to win this war. Actually, it's probably not super likely. I mean, it depends. He's got 2,000 troops. The Byzantine Empire, now that those 2,000 troops are out, only has 4,000, and they are currently losing the war because they've got some various occupied counties here, and so that's interesting. We're going to keep an eye on that. I like the fact that the Byzantine Empire has rolled over in terms of rulership, because that means that they're even more weak and divided than they would already have been, and that's already good. How about the Holy Roman Empire? Kaiser Heinrich is 48. He's been on. He's got this kind of vacant look in his, he's got this vacant, jockish look in his eyes. He's pretty sweet overall. He's got 20 prowess, so he's definitely not going to take him on in a 1-to-1 battle. Just like other children his age, my son and heir Kresimir sometimes lies and tests boundaries. However, he often avoids suspicion with his sweet demeanor, and people always forgive him when he does not get caught. I wonder just how much he gets away with. I will keep an eye on this one.
That's a good trait for a ruler.
Yes, charming is a great one, and so as such we're going to select the education focus, intrigue, because as you can see it says charming children. Charming is +1, diplomacy and intrigue. Often do well with an intrigue education. Because this has been a very intrigue-focused game, we're going to go with intrigue. Wow, that makes an amazing sound. Let's see, what's this faction noise going on? Yeah, we want to start swaying Count Francesco.
I do appreciate that it lets you switch your sway target without a big rigmarole.
Yeah, it's really nice. My wife has informed me of an obscure law of the county of Zagreb that states that none but the king may be its protector. So normally such an archaic law would be dismissed, but it offers me a unique chance to put Ban Radovan, my vassal and current ruler of the county of Zagreb, in his place. We could say, the law is clear, the king has full rights, which would get us a claim and lose 30 opinion. That would allow us to revoke his title without being seen as a tyrant. Or we could say, Radovan may keep the title by my grace. He already doesn't like us, and he has more than one title. So this would be a bad thing to choose, because he would lose 30 opinion of us. If he only had one title, we could take it and we could strip it from him, and then he would be unlanded. He would just have to return to the character pool and be a normal guy. But because he would still be landed, the calculus doesn't work out in our favor. And instead, we can pick this, which gives us +30 opinion of us, which is pretty good.
And from a practical standpoint, you've got a pretty comprehensive toolbox if you want to take things from him later as the king. Opportunities can arise where you can get them.
I sure do. I can just fabricate a claim.
Yep.
So we've got a daughter now, Vedrana. Welcome, Vedrana. I'm going to start a claim fabrication here. But first I have to deal with this. Not a day goes by without some new inconsequential matter being brought to my attention in court. Today it seems like it is Count Radoslav and Ban Radovan's turn to waste my time with a petty dispute. The more I listen to their reasons, the more I am convinced that the entire hearing is beneath my concern. We could say, get these ruffians out of my sight, which would lose opinion of both of them and cause some stress. Say, I will teach you to waste court's time, which gives us a 1 in 3 chance of gaining 43 dread, 2 weak hooks, and 300 intrigue lifestyle.
It's a low, pretty low chance of getting it.
But it's incredible. It's awesome. And instead, but the 63% chance is losing 10 dread, spending 75 prestige, gaining 12 stress, and them losing opinion of us. And our third option is we have to support one of them and piss the other one of them off. And I don't love that. And you know what? This is so good. 43 dread and 300 intrigue lifestyle and 2 hooks. We're going to take it. Let's go for it. I didn't get it. Whatever. We lost some dread, but we're still below our natural dread, so it's going to climb anyway. Oh, wow. The queen gained architectural expertise, which makes her stewardship even better. Love it.
You can now have 9. You can now have 9 holdings.
That's incredible. It's really, really good. The most holdings I've ever had are like 12 or 13, I think, in like a huge empire. Count Francesco is still continuing with his stupid quest. Okay, so we've got another faction created, which are the Populists. Venice Populists. Where are they located? They are located in the city of Malta, which kind of makes sense. Wait, do I have Malta?
I thought your brother had Malta.
I thought my brother had Malta. No, it appears that I have Malta.
Is your brother alive?
That's a good cue. Well, yeah, it looks like it. Maybe he's too young or something.
Yeah, maybe you're like the regent.
It looks like Count Francesco is almost done with with pacifying the idea of Ramos, so we'll send him to Malta. And even then, the worst that can happen is there is a peasant revolt, and I can just one of the tiniest and densest countries on Earth is not going to be able to muster up enough troops for that to be even a mite of concern. So I'm not sweating it. So I think that this would be a good time to call it, but let's take a look and see what opportunities are going to will be presented the next time we do this. We've got starting to see the Holy Roman Empire end up in fracturing a little. We've got Aquileia, which used to be part of the Holy Roman Empire, and is now ruled by a prince bishop, which is a little unusual, pretty cool. We've got Venice and Venezia that we could take. We got Urbino, which I think I'm going to take as soon as possible. They have kind of a surprising amount of troops, but they have no allies, and this person is just particularly incompetent, so I'm just going to roll in and take that next session. Let's see, Tuscany is looking pretty scary, as is Calabria. If you remember last game, Calabria had fractured into multiple kingdoms, but it looks like Duke Guy, who's pretty competent overall, has addressed that. Salerno is. I really wish I still had my claim on Salerno because their alliance is no longer present. Again, we could. Capua is, but we could just go for a claim there. Capua also. Capua has an alliance with Duke Pandolf, who's a vassal in the papacy. I don't know if that means that the papacy could declare war on me, but I certainly don't want to do that. Everybody hates it when you declare war on the Pope.
It's good to not be in a war with the Pope.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that everybody hates you when you do it. And as I mentioned last time, we didn't really get to it this time, but like if we wanted to start expanding into Sardinia, this is really all. It's all here for our taking. Just a bunch of these little independent realms that don't do anything. We've got an intrigue point. I'm going to spend this just before we do. Truth is Relative gives us the Fabricate Hooks scheme, as well as enabling finding secrets to fabricate hooks. This is pretty good. You do have to spend resources to unlock those secrets. There's in the Seducer tree, there's Like Weeds in a Garden, which is plus 30 fertility, and Enticing Opportunity, which is Seduction Scheme Power plus 30. And Torture gives us Dark Insights, where when you torture someone, 50% chance to gain either 1 intrigue or 1 prowess. And Dreadful, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get that dread gain.
You're a monster. You're a monster.
Yes. Neighboring ruler lost war. Vasiles Johannes lost against Duke Josip in the Liberty War. But interestingly enough, still seems to be a part of the Byzantine Empire. Liberty War is not an independence war. A Liberty War lowers the level of control that Vasiles Johannes has over his empire. Let's see. Can we look and see what the level of control is? I'm not sure, but it means that he just took a loss. So,
all right,
pretty good.
Looks like we're set up pretty well with lots of options for next week.
Yes, and a young, healthy, and extremely competent and totally ruthless leader.
Very dreadful.
That's music to my ears, really.
Well, I look forward to next week, Dreadlord Theodore.
Thank you. Take care, Peter.
See ya.